go, let's go, let's go. Welcome back to yet another episode of Two Plant-Based Brothers. I am William the teacher, and this is my brother.
Daniel Nwande Beard on the trail, and I got two maple leaves.
Congratulations. I do not have my Canada hat today, but usually right next to me, but not today. I actually switched rooms, so I'm in a different room today. Anyway, welcome back, everyone. So happy to have you. And for those who were doing the plant-based challenge for Easter, Easter's long over with now. So congratulations if you made it or if you said something new. If you decided to just keep doing what you're doing, and let's just say you quit meat and now you're vegetarian, congratulations. You know, who is? I'm definitely already back. I quit on Good Friday. I think that's one of the rules that you can. I went down to Dell's
Yeah.
Hideout and had the famous Beyond Burger, or Impossible Burger, whatever it was, and treated myself on Friday. Daniel, I believe you waited till Easter Sunday to.
I did. I think I had some caffeine on Saturday, so
Yeah.
whatever that is. And then I had my burrito, my tortilla on Sunday it was, and oh, was it delicious. I've already had some breakfast tacos this morning. So
Yeah.
I am back at the tortilla game, and it feels really good. I'm really
Good.
happy.
Good. Yeah. I mean, I know we didn't talk about it last week. We should have, but anyway, let's wrap it up and get on to our subject for this week. And we're calling this one On the Road Again.
Yes.
So, Daniel, let's talk. Recently, you left town. Where'd you go?
Yeah, so we took a family road trip up to Utah, 9.5 hours of a drive from us from Chula Vista all the way to southern Utah. We went out to near Bryce Canyon, and we had to strategically think. I had to strategically think about what I was going to eat on the road because this also took place during Lent. So some of the easier things that maybe I would have peanut butter jelly sandwich, right? Out the door. Can't do that because that's processed bread. Anything rolled in a tortilla, bean and rice burritos or whatever, out the door. So I really think about that. So that was our most recent trip. And then you had a recent trip up to, I believe, LA.
That's right. That's right. I was in Los Angeles for a week, not for pleasure, but for work.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it was, it always is. And I've mentioned this many times. It's a little bit of a challenge when you're on the road.
Hmm.
So, I just tried to stay 100% plant-based, and Trader Joe's is my friend.
Yes.
So I did not read any of the ingredients in the spicy lentil wrap. I just said, you know what? I'm sure they make this all in-house without preservatives or anything.
Mhm.
And, got some, I don't know, some kind of salad, right?
Mm.
And then at the hotel, they had some nice potatoes, which I chose to believe were just one ingredient potatoes, without any additives, and some oatmeal.
Nice.
So, and then big shout out to our Aunt Michelle, who, we
Ooh.
went out, and we didn't go out to eat per se, but we went to a place called, I think it was called Sweet Greens,
Hmm.
and got a nice, beautiful salad
Yeah.
called the Shrumami. I highly recommend it. It's
And
got the
mushrooms?
shrooms. Yeah, it's got the shrooms and it's got the umami. It really, really flavorful mushrooms. And it was delicious. And we had a good time just hanging out. It was really good to catch up with Aunt Michelle. If you're ever in Los Angeles, I highly recommend it. And
Catching
it's
up with Aunt
amazing.
Michelle?
Yeah, because it's amazing. She knows that city like the back of her hand, right? It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
in Westchester, and she's in Culver City, and she just comes down, picks me up at the hotel,
Mhm.
and we I don't know how many turns we made to get back. Oh, I think we went to Marina Del Rey, is where
Uh-huh.
the Sweet Greens was, and then back to Culver City. And
Nice.
I wouldn't know how to do that without a GPS. Obviously, I'm not from that city, but I spent enough time in some of those neighborhoods, but was hardly ever driving when I was in those neighborhoods. So,
Right.
it's interesting. So, yeah, anyway, it was a lot of fun, and but once again, on the road is a little bit challenging when you're trying to eat plant-based. Furthermore, when you're trying to give up something for Lent,
Yes.
and also I will admit to already getting back on the Ruffles. So.
Darn
uh,
ruffles.
I, the funniest thing, Daniel, is that Ruffles bag was sitting in the cabinet all of Lent,
Wow.
right? And this
That's
shows
just
you,
staring at you.
yeah, what kind of processed stuff is in this. Because I opened the bag had already been open. It was
Yeah.
open for 6 weeks, right? And it was
Wow.
still crunchy as heck, you know?
Woo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really,
Stale. Hmm.
yeah, full of preservatives. And I had my first plant-based ice cream uh, the other night. So
Nice.
that had been sitting and staring at me for over 6.5 weeks, you know. So at least I cleaned it out. But I definitely, like we mentioned in our first video of the year, I've been trying to do a better job of being whole foods plant-based,
Hmm.
and that will come up. But I know the next 2 weeks are going to be quite challenging for me,
Yeah.
as I have another trip coming up. So do you have anything coming up on the road?
We do. And before I get into that one, I'll mention kind of like you had talked about like Trader Joe's being your friend. It's my friend when it comes to snacks, I think, because the word or the hardest part. So when we went up to Utah, we stayed in an Airbnb, so we brought our groceries with us. Put what anything cold we needed to in a little ice chest. We didn't need a big ice chest for the cold stuff, and so we cooked while we were there, and so that pretty much controlled what I was eating. So that part wasn't so difficult because we were able to bring all that food and whatnot as opposed to flying, which we'll talk about briefly here in a minute. It was more the 9.5 hour drive, right? Of like, what am I gonna have? I wasn't having coffee too, and we woke up at I don't know, like 3:30, maybe a little, just to get on the road so we can beat the San Diego traffic and then beat the Inland Empire traffic up, and then go into Vegas. And so we were up really early, so no caffeine. And I had my breakfast here, which was oatmeal. And then the only place, and I don't know about you, William, but that's just a sure like go-to spot, and I think we've talked about this before, is Chipotle.
Mhm.
And so we ended up stopping in Utah, like kind of when we crossed into, then it was around lunchtime. And this must have been like a newer-ish Chipotle. It tasted amazing. Like I actually noticed the difference between like our local Chipotle and this one. It was amazing. I did not get it in a burrito, right? I didn't do the
Mhm.
tortilla. Basically did my sofritas, rice, beans, and then I when I was with you one time, I do the kids meal sometimes. I didn't do the kids meal because that comes with tortillas and chips, so I didn't have the chips. But that's what basically saved me on the road. And then the Trader Joe's snacks. We love the popcorn, just like the bag popcorn, which is, two ingredients, popcorn and then or three, maybe sea salt and some sort of oil. I forget what
Oil.
kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very, very limited on the stuff. And then plantain chips. Plantain chips are other kind of are other good snack that's relatively it's still fried like with the oil in oil with like the popcorn. But the only other ingredient is also sea salt. And then the last one are raw, unroasted, or I guess yeah, unroasted, unsalted nuts and like a
Yeah.
trail mix, which is at Trader Joe's. We're talking raisins, we're talking walnuts, which our kids call brain nuts. We're talking almonds, and I don't know what the little round ones are. It weren't peanuts, but it was something else. And then yeah, and that did a really really great job. So it felt good.
Round nuts.
It's like a round. It's not a peanut. It's like a round.
It's
And
a
it's not a Brazil nut because it's not as big. I
Is it a
don't know.
macadamia nut?
I think macadamia nuts don't have like an outer layer on it. Almost like has like a shell too, like the faux shell where it's like falls apart
Hmm.
on you. I'll have to look at it. I'm sure it's on the package.
I'm
I'll let you
curious
know.
what kind of nuts. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's my go-to are raw almonds. I mean,
Mhm.
that's always a good one to have, for me, every day. But yeah, it's just like, to be honest, I don't buy things at Trader Joe's usually,
Mhm. For your
except
normal
for,
weekly meals, right?
yeah, but yeah, I would say probably once a month, maybe, or I'll get into the habit of doing the cashew cream yogurt,
Hmm.
which I really like, and mixing that with fruit. And I might do that for breakfast, but um, on the weekends. But now I'm all about the oats right now for my weekend
Yeah,
breakfast.
me too. I'm
You
all
know,
about the oats as well. Though today, I realized I accidentally bought rolled oats versus quick oats. I don't know what kind of oats you use, but for us, we use the quick oats for the morning
mhm,
because the kids, I just add hot water and they cook very quickly. The rolled oats take a little longer to cook. I think
mm.
they're better for camping, like backpacking and cold soaking. Because then you cold soak it overnight, they get really nice and soft and easy to eat, but it's just not necessarily convenient in the mornings when we're cooking oatmeal. So accidentally that. But now I have oats for our next backpacking trip.
Yeah, and I just buy the quick oats, even though I do soak them overnight. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's what I buy. I figured. I don't know. Maybe I'll try the just plain rolled oats if
Mhm.
they soften up nicely overnight. So
Yeah, and I think so. And that's what I did for the last camping trip we did. I did the quick oats, and it wasn't as good as the rolled oats of soaked oats, funny enough. So yes, back to what you said. I got a trip coming up. We got a trip coming up. You're leaving tomorrow, right? We're
well, I
both,
mean, by the time this comes out, I'll be well on the
you
road, and
already come and
we're
gone.
we're kind of doing this advanced because I'm going to be on the road for about 2 weeks. So yeah, let's just say who knows when this comes out that I will have left.
You will have left. So big trip for you, 2 weeks. Mine's shorter. I'm actually going to meet you in Minnesota, of all
Yeah.
places. We're going to go to a fun baseball game together, and I plan on flying up into Chicago and then driving with my buddy Travis up to Minnesota. So yeah, I get to figure out what the heck I'm going to eat. For me, when I'm flying, especially if it's a morning flight, which I believe I have out of San Diego. I have lounge access, so they always have oatmeal in the lounge. So that's usually my go-to. Maybe I'll get a couple pieces of fruit. I'll get a cup of coffee. I'm good until I get to where my next spot is. So I feel pretty good. And I can bring any kind of little snacks or something like that. Once I
Yeah.
get to Chicago, it's like game on. I get to figure it out. And I have done
Yeah.
zero research.
And so on your way from Chicago to Minnesota, you're going to go through the great dairyland of
Ooh.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
and I know you will not fall prey to that
I will not.
dairy, but I
Nope.
have to say this to the people of Wisconsin. I think cheese curds are just overrated. Maybe, I'm sorry, it's just fried
Yeah. I had them
cheese.
when I pre being vegan at
Okay.
the Milwaukee at the Brewers ballpark
Yeah.
of all places. I thought they were horrible. Then I once worked with a woman who's from Minnesota, or I think Minnesota, and she talked about cheese curds or whatever being all the rave, and she gave me some. They're okay, but yeah, definitely don't eat them now.
Yeah, definitely don't. And who knows? Um, yeah, another big thing that's out there is the frozen custard. So I know
Mhm.
you won't be tempted by
Nope.
that, but I definitely was, and it was okay once
Yeah.
again. But things that people come here and they might say that our burritos are just okay. I mean,
Right.
it's just like that's where you're from. I respect that.
Get it.
That's your
Get it.
thing. It's America's Dairyland. And I know you think that the frozen custard is to die for and the cheese curds are to die for. I think they're okay. That's all I got to say about that.
So
So
you're flying in somewhere and you're going to be driving from then on, right? Until you fly back home for about 2 weeks, as you said. Are you planning on going to the grocery store when you land, like that sort of thing, packing up the car with snacks? And then my other question for you, because it sounds like or looks like you're answering no to that question. My other question is, are you going to be primarily vegetarian on this trip?
yes, that's the plan. Is vegetarian, ovo lacto vegetarian this trip. We'll see. I'll try to be as plant based as possible. Definitely no meat. Um, and flying into Chicago,
Okay.
and then leaving immediately, heading to Indiana. Watching hopefully watching the Fort Wayne Tin Caps in there in Fort Wayne, Indiana, down to Dayton, Ohio, which will be our last trip to Dayton, Ohio, to watch our daughter perform or compete, not just perform, but compete
That's right.
in the Winter Guard Nationals or Worlds. I think it's just national. I don't know if nationals or worlds, but either
They
way,
said World at that Friday night preview.
yeah.
Yeah, so I
So
was
I guess
curious
it's
about that.
world. So definitely gonna be a proud papa there.
Hmm.
And on to St. Louis, Missouri.
Missouri.
Watch the Cardinals play, and then over to Kansas City,
Oh.
Missouri, uh, where we're gonna visit the Negro League Hall of Fame or Negro League Museum, and watch a Kansas City game up to Nebraska, see our brother Chris,
Mhm.
and then on to Minnesota, where catch up with you, right? And then down to Iowa for Field of Dreams, and then back to
Cool.
Chicago, fly out. So we fly into Chicago, we fly out of Chicago, we
Wow.
never actually go into Chicago.
Yeah, because even the airport's kind of on the outskirts, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to drive through Chicago traffic a little
Mhm.
bit to get to Indiana, but um, spent time in Chicago the last 2 years. Last year I went twice. So yeah, as far as the food goes, yeah, I'm definitely going to see what I can get, but on the road, it can be difficult, and
Mhm.
that's just the concession I make for myself. And I do plan on doing. better. I mean, more whole foods, plant-based, and trying to find the good choices. But
Mhm.
we're going to spend a lot of time actually driving.
Yeah.
So, we may hit up a store, but that I don't like shopping at grocery stores. The Ralphs, the Vons,
Yeah.
the Walmarts and things like that. I don't really like those things, but um, we'll see what I can pick up on the way.
Hmm.
There tend to be just different options as far as, you know, you can find a salad anywhere. You can usually find an Impossible Burger or something along the way. So keeping that, but gas food fare is really going to be tough to live off of.
Right. No,
So,
completely.
and I got to say this for anyone out there, I love Loves. I have the app. So, do you know what Loves is, by the way, Daniel?
Yes, of course. I love loves.
Yeah, I love Loves. I got the app. I'm going to save 10 cents a gallon every time I fill up with the app. But there just aren't a lot outside of, there's a lot of different types of food,
Yeah.
but usually there's some kind of like fast food
It's usually
attached to it.
fried chicken of some sort, right?
Fried chicken of some sort, and it's difficult to find things that love. So I tend to drink a lot of coffee
Hmm.
and, and see if I can just live off some almonds or something like that
Yeah.
as I get going. So it's going to be an interesting trip, but I have no plan to stay 100% plant-based for this trip and then hit it hard when I come back and see what happens.
All right. And so I think the only research that I want to do between now and our trip up to Minnesota part is to see if there's any vegan options at is it Target Field, where
Mhm.
the Twins play? See what kind of options are there. And then maybe I'll do a little bit of research on that drive from Chicago to Minnesota, see if there's a good place to stop. Because I do like going to a vegan restaurant or a whole 100% plant-based restaurant. I went to because we were actually most recently up in Oceanside for the weekend, just for a night, and I found near Legoland this 100% plant-based place. I mean, it might be a chain. It's called Veggie Grill. I don't know if you ever heard of something like that, or maybe
Sounds
it's
very
chain that you saw.
familiar. Yeah.
But it was really good. And that was the burrito I had was actually a wrap and it
Hmm.
was a buffalo like tofu with lettuce and tomato, all kind of wrapped up with kind of like a ranch style sauce. Oh, it was so good. It's so delicious. So I kind of like going to those places just for fun, see how they taste. If there's anything on the way. Otherwise, it'll likely be in greater Chicago area or the greater, I'm assuming, Minneapolis, St. Paul area that I'll find something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like Mediterranean food is usually a good go-to.
Yeah.
If you can
True.
find any Mediterranean restaurant, and we ate somewhere in Minnesota or outside Minnesota, is probably closer to Prince's house out in Chanhausen. If I'm
Mhm.
pronouncing that wrong, people, I'm sorry. It looks like Chanhausen to me. But definitely you can find these type of, I mean, fast food, probably not the healthiest options, but
Mhm.
you can find falafel a lot of different
Yeah.
places and love it. Get your pita, get your salad, get your rice, get your falafel. It's really good. And then there are usually places, we were eating somewhere in Indianapolis last year, which was kind of like this, it's an Italian place, a pasta place,
Mhm.
but they had vegan options as far as the salads with tofu and different things. So I find that you can do it
Yeah.
when you look, but sometimes like I know that this stretch that I'm going to be on, it's going to be nothing really but gas stations
Right.
for a while there. And you just hope to run into a Panera Bread,
Hmm.
and just get that veggie sandwich, the Mediterranean veggie sandwich without the cheese.
Hmm.
Good to go. And you can find stuff, but it's not that easy yet,
Yeah.
you know.
It is, and it's definitely it takes a little bit of planning, or in your case, a little bit of adjustment, right, to what you will and will not eat.
Yeah. And it makes my life a lot easier. It makes my wife's life a lot easier.
Yeah, because I can only imagine that
Because
part of it. Because that was the other part, like I deal with too with my wife and my kids, right? When we're on the road, a long drive, is like kids want to stop at McDonald's, right? And
Mhm.
we'll do that. Like we'll get them McDonald's because we rarely get McDonald's at home. And so we'll do that for them. But there's nothing on the McDonald's menu for me whatsoever. Like nothing. And so or of course I choose to go somewhere else and find an alternative. And then in the back of my head, and I don't know if this is the Al McCaffrey and my grandfather in me, right? Of like, no, we got to get back on the road. We're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to stop at two places, and then three if I'm going to get gas. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But then I make that choice now. I'm getting better. I'm getting better with like trying to get to A to B sort of thing, enjoying the journey. But I'll say this one thing because we mentioned on a previous episode, somebody gets the task of trying to find that episode for us, and that was Mr. Charlie's. We talked about Mr. Charlie's. I
We
went
did.
to Mr. Charlie's in Pacific Beach.
Wow. It opened, huh?
It opened. I ate there, and William, I was blown away. Definitely on the
Really?
pricier side, as you mentioned. I was expecting that because you gave me the full transparency on that. And then I had like a double cheeseburger with fries and a Coke or something like that. It was so delicious, like really, really
Yeah.
delicious. The fries taste just like McDonald's used to taste like when I ate them. Which, by the way, European McDonald's fries don't actually have animal product in them. American McDonald's fries do. So, anyways, they tasted delicious. So,
I
thumbs
didn't
up.
know American McDonald's has animals in it.
Yeah, it's like it's the lard or something, like some sort of fat they use. Yeah,
Good to know. Thank you.
you're
But
welcome.
the McCharlie's, I'm telling you right now, to me it's been delicious. I said I've been there several
Yeah.
times in San Francisco, but the last time I went on a rant. The service was so bad
Oh
that I
yeah.
will not go back.
This
Um,
service, spectacular. Both the person who helped us order and the person that wasn't even helping us order, they were just so friendly. It is new, it's brand new, so I'm
yeah.
assuming it's part of the same chain. And it's Mr. Charlie's. I don't know if it's Mick, maybe it is a different one. They
No, it's
call it
Mr.
Mr.
Charlie's.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Mr. Charlie. So this one, go to PB. I think you'll have great service.
Maybe I'll check it out. We'll see how it goes. But I just want to get back to
Oh
the
yeah.
road trip
So
aspect point, and you're saying the kids going to McDonald's, and I think that's good to me, let the kids eat some junk, right? I
yeah,
mean, you're on the road. It's part of the experience. And other people can disagree with me, say, no, kids should always eat healthy and blah,
no,
blah, blah,
no,
build good habits. But road trips are road trips, man.
right.
And I'm definitely gonna have, some things that I probably wouldn't otherwise have.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be part of it. And as long as, for me personally, as long as I'm not munching on a steak or chicken
Mhm.
or something like that, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fine and I'm not gonna worry about it because I'm gonna be out there seeing America, singing "Ain't That America for You and Me." There we go.
Ain't that America?
Something to see, baby.
Hey, I
Yeah.
think we got a new podcast there.
Yeah, it's called Little Pink Houses for You and Me. I hope the copyright doesn't get us for that
Ah,
one. That's John Mellencamp. We did not make that.
we
That's
did
not
not,
an
no.
original. John Mellon could have been John Cougar Mellencamp who actually made
Yeah,
that. Not
yeah.
sure if that was Johnny Cougar or John Cougar Mellencamp or just regular old fashioned John Mellencamp. So there we go.
But I agree with you on like we aren't like extremely regimented about things of like we certainly want our kids to eat healthy.
Yeah,
Let's call it 85% of the time, right? 85% of the time. And I do this approach with myself and my own diet. We've talked about this of like some of the processed vegan things out there. They're
yeah.
not healthy. They're
Mm.
great that they don't kill animals. I think that's an amazing thing, but it's not necessarily a healthy thing. And so that's the thing we continue to teach our children of like healthy versus healthier,
Mhm.
because those two things are completely different as well. So yeah, no, when we're kind of traveling, we do go a little bit splurge on a little bit of unhealthy stuff. And it is kind of fun. And then it's about like, okay, what can we also just make sure we are getting the good nutrition as well? So it's a balance. We aren't trying to be strict about it by any means.
Well, all right. So we're going to be hitting the road and telling you all about it when we come back. So
Yes.
go ahead and leave us any comments you want, any questions. We always appreciate it. And until then.
Peace.